Good evening and welcome to tonight's show from DJNTV, Disc Jockey News TV. Tonight's show is brought to you by Electra Voice, DJ Event Planner, DJ Trivia, Odyssey Innovative Designs and Cases, NLFX Professional, Promo Only, and the DJNTV Insiders.
Based out of Minneapolis, for the last 7 years, this DJ has been rocking sets at numerous legendary clubs and festivals, setting the stage for some of the biggest names in the game, while diligently focusing his efforts in production. His undeniable talent in music and innovative event planning with his partner is taking real notice among music makers and partygoers. Today, I'm chatting with Oberg. He shares his well-thought-out inspiration behind his rebrand, how he integrates music into his day job, the surprising lessons he's learned through that experience, and so much more. Thomas, thank you so much for being with us today.
Of course. Thank you for having me.
Yes. So let's hear your story. I know that you haven't always been under the same alias and rebranded a few years ago, which I love. So how about you tell us a bit about your story and how you got to this point?
Yeah. So I started working with Sound in Motion about 8 years ago when I first kind of broke into the electronic music scene. My friends randomly asked me to go to a Benny Benassi show at Spin Nightclub, which is now the Poorhouse, but very typical for like an intro show. You go to a bigger name, something like that. And I was totally blown away. It kind of just changed everything for me. And kind of through a weird turn of events, my yoga instructor, her husband owned the company. And so like I mentioned to her that I went to a show and she's like, oh, did you know my husband owns that company and I can get you an internship? And so it was kind of like serendipitous that I, went to that show that night and that was going to her classes and stuff like that. So she linked me up with Jack Trash and I was, intern for a couple months and then worked my way to crew and then realized I wanted to start DJing. And basically begged him to let me borrow his decks after each show. These were like the CDJ 1000s, so back in the day. And so he finally, after I busted my butt enough, finally let me take home the gear and just practicing like 4 hours a day. And this is, when you had to burn CDs. So I'm sitting there burning CDs in my room and practicing for 4 hours a day, trying to get transitions right. And then one day it just kind of clicked. And I was like, oh, that's what it's supposed to sound like. And so just kind of meticulously went back and tried to perfect mixes. Finally, they let me do a few shows and, branded myself as Tommy Paige as my first and middle name. It was just kind of what came to mind. So worked for that company for a number of years and then decided to kind of go my own route. I wanted to rebrand and I didn't really know what I wanted to be. I think rebranding is kind of like one of the hardest things you have to do. Branding in general is hard, but rebranding is hard. So I was trying to pick out something that was special to me. And one place that I used to go with my parents a lot was a trail called Oberg Mountain in Lutzen. And I just kind of liked the name Oberg, and I thought it kind of sounded cool and mysterious. And my cat's trying to get on my keyboard. And so, yeah, it was just that's kind of like the name I went with. And it stuck, and people liked it. And so the translation actually means something like strong lone mountain. So it was kind of cool that I picked that because I was like going on my own and it was hard. It was hard to go on your own after being with a company that, is just kind of throwing you gigs for so many years. So, yeah, that's kind of where I am now, is just continuing the Oberg thing.
Yeah, I like that. And when you said the thing about like the CDJ 1000s and burning
Yeah.
CDs, I don't know about you, but I'm pretty sure I ruined my drive burning so many CDs for
Right.
years. Just like walking around with a spool.
Yeah, and you'd have like the big book and like flipping through, and it was ridiculous. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So a lot of DJs, while they're working on this side hustle to make it something that can sustain life at some point,
Yeah.
have day jobs. And I know you've gotten electronic music involved in your day jobs. How about you tell us about that?
Yeah. So probably 5 years ago, I started working at a school. I work as a special education paraprofessional, which means that I assist kids with high needs in daily classroom stuff. And the school I work at is really cool. It's not like a standardized district. We're a charter school, so we get to do a lot of cool experiential learning things. And they allowed me to start an electronic music club because I have all these MacBooks and GarageBand with all these samples loaded on it. And it's a good place to start. And kids think what I do is really cool, and they want to know about it. They're like, how do you make the songs you do? And I want to make a song like that. And it might not always be electronic music. They might show me some SoundCloud rap that they like or whatever. And I'm cool with that. Whatever gets you, your foot in the door. So I was able to, start that club and just kind of teach kids basics like sampling and, just little things that they need to know to get going. And it's cool when they like take that home and then they'll come back and they're like, okay, well, how do I do this? I want to get these vocals here and do that. So, I mean, I'm not an expert, but I teach them what I know. And that's really cool for me. So
I don't know about you, but working with people, I feel like I'm constantly learning, even if I'm teaching them.
yeah.
I'm curious for you, what's maybe something surprising that you've learned from that experience, and how has it had impact in your own career?
Surprising, I would say just that electronic music is not dying. It's only growing. I mean, kids, we always heard about like, oh, it's this bubble, it's going to burst, in 4 years, it's going to be nothing. And it's not true. 100% not true. Kids are super into it. It's in pretty much everything every game they play, whether they realize it or not, there's some sort of electronic music being produced behind certain things like that. And it's inspiring to know that it's not going anywhere and kids really are gravitating towards it and it's only getting bigger. So that's something that did surprise me.
I know you have a neat story behind the name.
Yeah.
Can you tell us what inspired that in the rebrand? Maybe something that you've integrated into it that you're really passionate about.
Rebranding happened because the name Tommy Paige was kind of synonymous with what I was doing for Sound and Motion. Not a bad thing, but it's just I kind of needed to like grow, and like do my own thing when I was going out on my own, and just searched and searched and searched and just couldn't really find anything that I liked, and everything I liked was taken. And so I finally just kind of asked my dad, I was like, what are some places we used to go hiking when I was younger? And it's like Oberg Mountain was one of them. And I just was like, Oberg, I like that. And I'm a huge outdoorsman. I go backpacking, I hunt, fish, do all that stuff. So when I got to kind of merge those two together, that was kind of like a light bulb for me. And one thing I'm trying to do more of in my next releases and just over the summer is do more work with what they call sound ecology. So it's kind of the study of the relationship between the sounds of humanity and nature and how they kind of like intertwine, and trying to use more like organic samples. I love splice. I love stuff like that because sometimes like I want a pan flute in my song and I don't know how to play a pan flute. It's cool just to kind of throw a placeholder on that. But bigger picture, I want to start expanding more into that sound ecology realm and just get a sound that, no one else has, because that's really what's going to set you apart.
I love how thoughtful that rebrand was, that you took that time and really thought about it. I think about when people get tattoos and someone's like, what's the story behind it? Like you have a really neat story behind it. I love that.
Thank you.
You're also a promoter. You're throwing shows. I talk to so many artists and I notice a lot of DJs are also curators.
Yeah.
Why do you think that is? And like, do you think that kind of gives DJs an edge? Why or why not?
I can't speak for anybody else, but at least for me, I have a partner, Andrew, that I throw an event series called Poison Control with. And it's just, we kind of wanted to do something different versus like, just a night where you come and listen to a DJ in a room and $5 drinks at the bar. Like, that's cool, but everybody does that. And we needed something a little different. So we kind of try to bridge this multimedia element where we have like clothing vendors, live art, and then like a theme that plays into the DJs in their set. So this whole series is kind of, the past couple shows in this series have kind of been about playing off people's vices, like, kind of what we are addicted to, or things that, draw our interests in the world that might not be so great for us, but it's fun to indulge in. And I didn't do it. We didn't do it because we think we can do it better than someone else. We just wanted to do something different. And Andrew and I like to DJ too. And that's like a huge perk, is that we get to DJ our own shows. And, it's cool to see a room full of people at something that you created. And Andrew and I kind of have different markets, and when we kind of merge those together, it's pretty cool. We have kind of like a streetwear market that comes in, and a lot of people that probably don't normally go to electronic music shows but really enjoy what we do. And so we did it a little bit for ourselves, and just to kind of make the scene a little bit more diverse, I think.
And I like that you found somebody that you can work well with. That's not always easy in this industry.
No, it's not. And it's cool because we kind of keep each other in check sometimes. It's like that, like, if he's not doing something or I'm not doing something, we're definitely there to kind of like let each other know. And it's never in a bad way. It's just, it's good. Like, it keeps me motivated. It keeps me on track. And I think it's good in his mind too.
Accountability buddies.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
So to end this interview off, I would love to hear any exciting projects you've got coming up, music, events. What should people know that you've got going on?
Yeah. So the next Poison Control event is on May 11th at the Hideout, which is above the Poorhouse in Minneapolis. Beyond that, I think I'm playing a set at the Lab, which is an after-hours spot that recently opened in Minneapolis. That's on May 17th. And then just working on getting a summer schedule build right now. I've never really done like a regional thing, and that's like my goal this summer is, hit North Dakota, South Dakota, Iowa, and Milwaukee, and slowly been making some connections. I have a buddy out in North Dakota that I've been talking to. Recently met some cool people from Milwaukee. And so that's my big goal. Nothing super confirmed yet, but you'll know when I release it. And then just working on music, as consistently as I can. It's hard with the day job because sometimes you come home and feel completely beat, but just staying focused and just like one little chunk at a time. Like working on, and then you feel better in the morning when you work on it. And then in my songs, working more on sound design and like low end stuff. Cause that's kind of what's dominating the house scene right now, is those really awesome, like full chunky low end sections of a song. So that's kind of what I'm working on. So just more songs, more shows.
The chunky low end.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, for the rest of y'all that have tuned in today's episode, was there anything that he shared today that really stood out to you? Maybe some insight you want to use? Maybe you've been thinking, I need an accountability buddy. Let us know in the comments below. Let us know why you need an accountability buddy, how they're going to keep you on track. And as always, don't let no one kill your vibes.
Like my cat just ran in front of me.
Oh, that's awesome.